If this doesn't correct itself, I'll be requeening them. But they still may be starving, who knows. This has some weight to it here. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It's Thursday, May 30th, 2024. It's a beautiful day out. It's about 7:15 p.m. Sun's on its way down. We had a cool front come through and a little bit of rain. I got like 5/100, so just enough to settle the dust, but nothing substantial to help the nectar flow. But it's nice and cool. It's probably 70, low 70s, and it's really nice. So you probably heard me talk about on my prior video, I brought the hives from out western Oklahoma here because they attacked my brother-in-law when he went to mow. He mowed like 4 or 5 days after I went out there and did that inspection, and you can go back 2 or 3 videos ago and see the Pissy Hive from western Oklahoma. And yeah, they were bad, and a lot of people commented like, man, I wouldn't want those bees around, you know, me and all this stuff. And yeah, they were pissy, but the conditions, I think, are what caused it. So everyone put in the comments below before you watch this of how pissy you think they'll be, because I'm going to go in there. That's what we're going to do today. A lot of it's the conditions. So a rainstorm had just gone through there, and like a thunderstorm, and it had cleared off, but it was still cloudy and overcast, and the temperature got down to like 65 degrees. It was a little bit chilly almost. And so all the bees were in that hive. They didn't have hardly any food stores on the one it'll be on the right in this video. It's the one that only has 2 supers, and I'm not sure why. I think their population just exploded, so it was super strong, and they couldn't collect nectar fast enough to keep up with their population. I don't think they were in that good of a nectar flow because they'd been having some drought out that way. So there was that, the drought, and so I left them angry. I took 4 frames of bees out of there and brood, and I inadvertently took their queen. So there was all that, and they were queenless, and my brother-in-law showed up with a lawnmower. So that was 4 things bad. I've been around them a little bit, and they're not coming out after me, but they usually don't come out after you till you start messing with them. So we'll see how they are. The bees out there on those 2 hives historically have been a little bit on the pissy side, but you know, not terrible like they were that day. But we'll see how they are. And there's one after me. Ow! It just stung my finger. So maybe they are pissy. So we'll get in there. We can't sting me twice. We'll get in there and check it out and see how it is. And there's one other hive I want to check out. They probably smell this smoke. There's one other hive, the little nuke there, and I collected that hive last night from a water meter. The city called me and said there was bees in a water meter, so I went and got them out of there, and I never found the queen. So the comb was so new. You know how new comb is. It was very floppy, flimsy, and when I lifted it out, a couple of the combs, there was only like 4 or 5 small ones, and a couple of them fell down in there. I don't know if I lost the queen then, or if a lot of bees went down on the side and up and under, and I couldn't see in there, and I was just kind of sucking with my vacuum cleaner, and I think I got all the bees out of there, but I never saw the queen. So hopefully I sucked her up into the basket and I got her into there. So I want to check that, and you can see how I've rubber banded the frames, and I want to get in there and see if I did get the queen, and if I can find her in there or not. So let's get started and see how these do, and be sure and put your comments below on your pissy meter to see what you think on 1 to 5, what you think, how pissy they will be. Let's get going. Man, you can't really see it, or maybe you can in this video, but the bees are really a lot of activity coming and going. And the queen is in that box right there from Western Oklahoma. The 4 frames I pulled the split, she's in there, and she came from that hive on the right. So let's get over there, and first I'm going to do that little nuke. Yeah, you can see how busy they are. Lots of flight. Looks to me like there's more on the left side than the right, but I don't know. Let's get into this little feller. Hopefully we find a queen in here, and we might use that queen somewhere else, or might just let her continue here. We'll figure that out. So still got a couple of queenless hives, it looks like. So yeah, this is the hive from the water meter, and it wasn't that far from me. It was about, I'd say close to 2.5 miles. So hopefully they were far enough away that the field bees here didn't all go back to that water meter. If they did, I'm sure the city would be calling me back saying, hey, you missed a couple. But yeah, there's some black ant, and there's some open comb in there, which that makes me nervous. Those black ants on that open comb on a weak hive like this, and I didn't reduce the entrance. I don't see any bees flying in and out of there. There's one. There's a couple. Okay. It's beginning to worry we had an abscond. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of bees in here. That's not a good sign at all. Man, that would suck to do all that work for nothing. I mean, it wasn't that big of a hive, but I would think I would see more bees up here than I see now. So this here was an old brood frame I took with me to, kind of attract the bees if I needed it, and I went ahead and just stuck it on in here. So, oh, and it had some liquid. No, that's this one. There's liquid in there. I didn't put that there. Surely they didn't collect all that in one day. That is weird. Yeah, look at how much liquid is in here. And this was an empty old brood frame. Yeah, I know it is, because I remember it wasn't drawn out. It's kind of lopsided. Yeah, there's quite a few bees in here. The comb's down low because I rubber banded it in here. So this is their original comb, and with the brood that I rubber banded in here. So let's see if we can spot us a queen. Not seeing one there. I'll be careful of this so it don't fall out. Looks like they've already attached it pretty good. So it's just set in there with these rubber bands, and they've already bridged it to the side. So there's some productive little bees in here. This next frame is the biggest comb, so maybe that queen will be on that. Hopefully. It would suck if I didn't get that queen. I don't see her. Well, there's another good frame next to it. That's one I donated to it. But this is their original comb. I would think she would want to be on that, but maybe not. But queens do like that old dark comb too. But this wasn't actually dark comb. This was a frame here from another hive that I wanted to put some resources in there with them. So it's all full of liquid. I bet she's not on here either, because she wouldn't be on a frame that's just full of liquid like that. Oh, that's a major bummer. I do not see her. Those queens will run off and hide when you're trying to capture a hive like that. And there was a lot of little hiding places in there I couldn't get to, but I thought I got most of the bees out of there. I might run back over there today and look in there and see if there's a little clump of bees, if I don't find her. She might have been on that first frame, but I looked at it pretty close. I'm thinking there may be some eggs in here that they could Yeah, I see them that they could pull emergency queens down off of if they needed to. There's some bees down there in the bottom. Yeah, I see eggs in here. So if they needed to, they could pull an emergency queen. Oh, I see her right there. I just missed her before. Right there she is. Okay, well, that's all we need to see. She seems like she's okay. Didn't get damaged by the vacuum. You know, at some point when you're trying to get all the bees out of there and they won't cooperate and they're running all around, you just see clumps of them, you just start vacuuming and hope you got her. So good deal. So probably, well, they don't need fed, there's liquid in there. I was gonna say I could probably feed them some, but let's let them recover for a couple more days, a week or so, and check back on them, see how they're doing, and might use this queen in another hive to make it queen right. Okay, the moment y'all have been waiting for. So these are the same orientation as they were in that prior video. So this one had 3 supers, and I put an empty super in the middle, and when I went and got them that evening, that super, they weren't even doing anything with it. There weren't many bees in it, so I shook out the bees that were in it and just took it off so I wouldn't have to transport it on there. And this one, I just transported it the way it was. So I put ratchet straps all the way around them and strapped them down to where, in the back of my truck, to where they would be secure. And then I put a strap over the top of them to hold them down so they wouldn't slide around. But to get them in the truck, I took them all the way apart on the hive stand, and then I started putting them back together with the bottom all the way up, and then I ratchet strapped them. Okay, let's get these screens out of the way. We don't need them anymore around here. I'm going to go ahead and smoke these here a little bit, just so if they do get bad, these vibrations from the other hive won't set them off as bad. Maybe. And I'm going to smoke this one for sure. I've got quite a few bees buzzing me right now. Yeah, they're not going to be nice. They're all over me now in the camera. I mean, not like they were before, but you can see all the bees kicked up there off the entrance. There, a couple of them are stinging around my sleeves. Well, so much for that theory. I hate to even open them up, but I need to see if they're requeening correctly, because our garden's about 300 feet over there, and if we're out there trying to work, getting attacked by bees, you know, that ain't no good. So definitely will, if this doesn't correct itself, I'll be requeening them. But they still may be starving, who knows. This has some weight to it here. I'd say that super's about 50% full from just the feel of it. So they're not starving. So the bees that are on me now, you know, I have hives like this that get pissy like this, and this is about as worse as it gets around here for me. Occasionally I will have one that's really bad, but so to me they're still tolerable. Plus they're queenless, so that's going to make them a little grumpy as well. Make sure my veil's zipped up. So when I set this super down, I'm going to put that other one on top of it to kind of cover it up. Keep more bees in the box, less on me. This one feels about 2/3 full, I'd say. Okay, so on the Pissy scale right now, I'd say they're medium to medium high. I'm not worried about smoking a queen off, because I'm just looking for evidence that they've requeened, that there's some cells in here that are open, or I might see, let's see, it hadn't been long enough to have a laying queen in here. We should see some cells, and they ought to be just about ready to emerge, or they have emerged not very long ago. We could put our little water meter queen in here if they're not requeening. Those water meter bees, those were the kindest, gentlest little bees I ever seen. I could have done that without a jacket on. They weren't upset one bit with me. Of course, it wasn't a real strong hive like this. So when out west, when I was at this point, I was totally covered with bees, and that's not the case now. So they're not near what they were. Full of liquid. So 2.3 miles north of here, there's an alfalfa field, 2 of them in full bloom. So if they're making it that far, and that little water meter hive was within a half a mile of that those alfalfa fields. So this is a blank frame to have them draw, in which they're drawing it out fast and filling it up. Smoke them if you got them. This is a brand new blank frame I put in there to replace the brood frame I pulled out, and they're starting to draw on that. Yeah, these bees here aren't acting any worse than that Hive 20 down there that I was in a couple weeks ago. And it wasn't pleasant, but Hive 20 is, I was in that last video and they were okay. So looking for queen cells here because we got a few capped brood left. Those are just queen cups there on the bottom. Those were there when I checked it out there in western Oklahoma a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they have filled this thing up. So what doesn't have a capped cell on it is full of nectar. So we are definitely having a big time flow here. Oh, so to get these hives set up here, I didn't disassemble them in the dark and put them back together here. I got my tractor and lifted them up by that ratchet strap and set them. I put the hive stand together here. I brought the hive stand and everything with me, and I lifted them with the tractor front end loader so I didn't have to take them apart. You do not want to take a hive apart in the dark, especially if it's mean, because the bees just crawl all over you. They don't fly. So this is one of the blanks, so they're drawing it, filling it. So hopefully this next frame we'll see some cells on it. So I was real intentional about getting a frame with eggs and brood on my split, but I didn't pay as close attention to this because I was pretty sure I was leaving a queen behind. So that's same thing. There's a few capped brood right here, but there's no emergency queen cells. And here's looks like one they may have started, but they didn't finish it. There's nothing in it, or is there? It doesn't look near far enough along to be, unless it's emerged. No, it's not emerged. That's just a cup. See the little cup right there. So that's in the right location. It's not what we're looking for. It should be capped off by now. What we might do is put a brood frame in here that's got some eggs and give them another chance. And if they don't pull it down, they're good. But there's a queen in here somewhere. So here's another new frame. There's still so many bees in this hive, and I pulled a lot of them out. Well, I pulled 4 frames of bees and I shook a couple frames. It was a very healthy split I pulled out of here. You can't tell there was ever any bees taken out of here. Boy, I hate to go into that bottom box. Here's a brood frame. Drone. Drone. No queen cells. I would think we would see some up around here. So she had to have laid some drone brood before I did the split for those drones to be emerging now. Here's some brood here. So if you see brood, you know you're safe as far as laying workers starting on you. There's an empty swarm cell cup, 2 of them. Let's see if there's a queen cup I missed. No. There's a drone that just came out of its cell right here. Welcome to the cruel world, little drone. Yeah, so this isn't bad. This is tolerable. They're not just pounding my veil like they were before. There's just a few. Yeah, there's more than a few, but this is not bad. I think we're through all the brood frames. As much as she'd been laying, we should probably check the bottom. As much as I hate to do that with all these bees. So this was a food frame, it's a pollen ring, and they're backfilling it with nectar. Go ahead and take a peek at this. It's probably just full of nectar. Well, not completely full, but definitely no brood. All right, let's go on the bottom. One thing I don't like about these plastic frames, I like them pretty much all around, but they flex and they're kind of flimsy. They're not rigid like a wood frame. So doing this with all these frames, it's flexing. I'm pushing into that plastic. It's just not, and it's bowing out when I push on it here. They're just not tough, but they're very handy. Bees don't care if it's plastic or not, just as long as you make sure you got good wax on it. Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to go from medium to heavy pissy to heavy pissy once I get this off of here. Man, they're just boiling out of there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for a brood frame. I'm going to start on the split that came out of here because that queen was laying a lot. So she may have a fresh brood frame in there that we could put in here with some eggs. So let's go over there and see what we find. Plus, it'll be a good checkup on this split. Yeah, so things look good on the front. This is that Apame woodenware conversion kit. It's got the Apame bottom with the pollen trap, and Apame just signed me up on their affiliate program. They saw my video on this and sent me an email and said, hey, you want to be in our affiliate program? I said, yeah, that'd be cool. I said, it'd be even cooler if you sent me some stuff to review. And they said, well, when we send out new products, we'll consider that. So, okay. So I will get that link. I'll try and get it into this video and the video where I did the review of this. No liquid. No liquid. So it's empty. I did feed them some, you know, because when I brought them back, they didn't have anything to eat. No, very little, if any, nectar. Boy, they really bridged that up pretty quick. Man, I've got single deeps over there now that aren't splits that don't look as good as this. I'm gonna clean this off. I'm gonna start over here because that frame is drawn out pretty thick. I'll probably bust loose a bunch of honey comb. And this is full. These are some prolific bees, I'm here to tell you. They are some foragers now. So I want to find a frame with brood and eggs. I'm afraid if I take that queen over there, as strong as that hive is, there ain't no telling. They might just ball her up and kill her. So this is all food and nectar. I see a lot of white comb in here, brand new stuff. All liquid on this side, same on this side. This is one they've just drawn out, and it's full of eggs, and there's brood. So here's what we want. So you see capped larva in here, and the further you go out, the later it was laid, so they can pick from an egg all the way to larva, wherever they want to pull a queen down from. You got all the right age groups. So this is what I was having a hard time finding when I was pulling my split. So this is perfect. Just want to make sure that queen's not on here again. So I'll just shake this, because I don't need the bees. I'm not pulling a split. I'll just give it a quick little shake. Well, first let me go and prepare a spot for it. All right, I'm just going to pull one right out of the middle. Not worried about injuring a queen. And I'll put this frame that's full of honey and nectar in a weaker hive. It's amazing to me how much that split's drawn out those other frames that I put in there that were blank. Yeah, I don't want to take these bees over there. This is the one that had that little cup on it. So here's our frame right here we're going to grab. I don't see that queen, but I'm going to shake it anyways. All right, perfect. Yeah, so here's what I'm talking about. So you got capped, bigger larva, older, about to be capped, all the way out to the edge where there's eggs. There's a good shot of some eggs. All right, let's get it over there. So this will keep the same genetics together. So if these hives are unmanageable in the future, I'm not getting all this mixed up around here. I guess there are some drones in here though that can be getting mixed around in this location. But I'll just deal with hives. If they get pissy, I'll requeen them. I have a lot of VSH Italian from Wildflower Meadows genetics in here. I'll buy queens every 2 to 3 years. Don't need any this year. I need to start checking for full supers now. Okay, this is the one that's all the dates are on this end except for this frame here in the middle. It says it's a 2021 frame. Get back in there. Herding bees. I ain't doing like I did the other night and pick up 2 supers at the same time. I'm still aching from that. My aching back. Yeah, they're going to have these 2 filled. I should probably go ahead and give them a 3rd super. Put it on the top, I would guess, the way they are right now. Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. It's probably long enough. I'm going to go get me a undrawn frame, make sure I got some good wax on it, and put it back in that split over there, and I'll let them start working on that. Man, that little split could maybe use a super on it. The way the flow's going right now, it is super good. So I hope it keeps it up. So it's May 30th, and we got all of June still to go. So that's a really good sign. So it's starting off really good. So what did you think about the pissiness level of this hive? Would you put up with that? I think a lot of you probably wouldn't, but I've had some this bad here, and they chill out after a while. And I've had a couple that didn't, and I have requeened them. It's not that bad to me. They did escalate there for a little bit, and then it came back down. I do have quite a few buzzing me, but to me, I've seen this before and think, you know, this is a queenless hive still, so they're still pretty defensive. So I'm going to end the video here. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.